So here we are out in the front yard. That's out looking towards the road. And we'll take a walk through the path that I cut through the woods this year. It's out in the backyard behind the house. There's a shop building in the barn back there. Bunch of junk back here. I just got done running the lawnmower through this path because the grass was getting a little bit long. And there's a shitload of poison ivy around here, which doesn't agree with me very well. I found last year, before I knew what I was really looking at or looking for, and when I was cutting and trimming brush, I got into the poison ivy and it kicked my ass. This here is all poison ivy along that whole side of the path. Most all this in here, there's a pond back there. All this along here is poison ivy. Both sides of the path, all that down there. Here's some big ass stuff. I ain't gonna touch it. I learned my lesson. Some pretty big leaves there, as big as my hand is. Anyways, all poison ivy, all poison ivy. Bad juju. Amazing, some people it doesn't bother. There's the one. The grass is kind of long now. There's a pond there. It's shallow, maybe a foot and a half. It's pretty grown over now. Earlier in the year it was clear. Here's a field out between the fence and the road. This path just goes through to the other side. We'll see that when I loop around the other side. It's several hundred feet away. We'll just go around in a circle. I pretty much cut this path around the pretty much outside perimeter of the fence line here. It's interesting though, you get to a lot of these places and there's no poison ivy hardly anywhere in sight, and then you get to some of those other areas and it's pretty thick. Got a bunch of nice little wildflowers back here. There's a little more poison ivy back in there, but not much. There's a bunch of it back in this far corner too. So far I've been lucky enough to only have gotten it once last year. Now I'm more careful, know what I'm looking for. There's some more of it. Now this back here along both sides, this is all poison ivy pretty much there. And on this side, some pretty good sized leaves here. The old saying, leaves of three, let them be. I'm listening to that one. This whole patch back here is all poison ivy. Both sides of the path. Here, I didn't cut this path quite straight through, but that's where I stopped and looked this way. I'm looking east now. We were looking west from the other side. This just goes through a couple hundred feet from one side of this little part of the property to the other. It's property's not exactly square. It's more kind of L-shaped, maybe, if you want to call it, or T-shaped. Here's another pond, kind of hard to see, and we'll be walking along the side of it. It has gone down too because it hasn't rained a lot just recently. But there's two ponds that are kind of pretty close to right next to each other. One sort of feeds into the other one. This one here is a little, it's pretty hard to see it now actually. More poison ivy down there. Anyway. That's maybe only, each one's maybe only 50 feet across or something. By the way, happy 4th of July, everyone. Now we're kind of back again. You can see the barn and the shop building over there. We just sort of did a big circle. There's the back of the house and the garage. Through there, this just sort of loops around as a circle. The side of the shop building. Here's the old barn. Built in the 1930s, still actually in pretty good shape. The siding's a little rough, but structurally it's decent. And the shop building was built in the 60s. Another poison ivy patch back here. Both sides again. Here again, like I say, we're at the kind of other corner of the side yard here. Here's again where I said it just looped around from behind the house here. You can go into the path. We walked into the path right over there behind the garage. This one goes up through here. Also cut another exit over by the shop and cut another little exit over here behind the house. So anyway, that's about it. Pointing a direct direction. A little tour of the woodsy part of the property. So we'll shut this off for now.